I just finally got out of Dunkirk, which is the new film by Chris Nolan, the director behind Inception, and the Dark Knight trilogy. And I have to be honest, I wasn't going to see this movie at first. I was quite hesitant, and I just thought, I don't really care much for his films, so why would I bother seeing it? I'm sort of glad I did, because the biggest reason why I saw it was because it reminded me of my great grandfather from my father's side. He fought off on the beaches of Normandy. Unfortunately, he died that very day, but I think he also done a few tours across the north of France, particularly in Lille and Dunkirk. And that's what the movie kind of details, is about the heroism and the bravery of the soldiers involved, and how they try to go through against all adversity and against all odds. And it's quite effective in that way, as you can see from the poster right here. We have our main character here. Well, actually, I should um, explain a little better. The film is divided into three stories. One of them being Rescue Boats with Mark Rylance, who also is BFG, and another bloke. And then Tom Hardy, that's the second story, and another bloke. They're in aerial combat, fighting for the RAF, bombing planes and the Germans whenever they can. And then the third story tells about the young person that you see on the poster right here, as he tries to survive while being shot and stuff at on boats and on ground, and trying to survive as much as he can. So essentially, the film is pretty much the story of that bloke right there, who I unfortunately can't remember his name quite exactly, but he provides a great performance and is quite believable. He's not over the top and he's not showy. In many ways, this movie is multi-collaborative. It's almost like three vignettes told into one, out this sort of way, but not quite the same thing. All war films tell different perspectives of how they survive and their combat. I find that effective. With that being said, however, the film, it feels quite loose and quite, I don't want to be offensive, but a little simple than what I would have expected. When you compare it to a film like Hacksaw Ridge or Saving Private Ryan, which actually has a convincing enough story to work on its own hind legs. Um, and it's a lot more graphic. Those films are 15s or R-rated if you're from the US. This is 12A, sustained threat, intense sequences, moderate violence, and strong language, which, while not bad, means that the film is slightly toned down from, how harsh it could have been. War isn't PC or family friendly, folks. It's quite bloody and quite gory. And but, enough of the criticisms there, because I might get kicked and pissed around by the Chris Nolan fan base. If you just go see it for yourself, you might be amazed. I unfortunately didn't see it as part of a 35 or 70mm screening on IMAX. I just saw it as it was on a digital version. But the fact that they used film to create this film made it all the more impressive and all the more authentic. I think this is Nolan's best film. That's outside of The Dark Knight, the sequel with the Joker and Two-Face. Because I don't like a lot of his movies, but I like that one. I thought Dunkirk wasn't that bad. It certainly was a hell of a lot better than Inception and Interstellar or Following Memento and any of those other ones that he's done that I just really can't remember or give a flying hoots about.